Hey everyone, welcome to this conversation. It is about to go down. Get ready to rumble because there's a lot of people out there that are telling you that you need to become an entrepreneur. And I'm here to tell you that some people might not be set up for it. And we are going to be exposing some of those things because there's a difference between being a wantrepreneur and an entrepreneur. Because yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna come right out of the gate, and I'm just gonna start this story with a real conversation that happened to me when I went to architecture school. So I went to architectural school thinking this is what I want to be. This is like this is what Mr. Brady from the Brady Bunch did. Like being an architect was like the thing to be. And I was about ready to graduate with my Bachelor in Fine Arts degree and didn't want to be an artist because the starving artist syndrome is real. So is being a coach syndrome real. And so is being, yeah, like many, many different things. I'm seeing so many similarities between the starving artist syndrome and the coaching syndrome. It's starving coach syndrome. It's amazing. But I was one semester away from graduating my Bachelor in Fine Arts. Went, you know what? I'm going to go, I think, become an architect because I wanted to become an architect. And the very first thing that they had us do was read a book about what it meant to be an architect, like the real life from an architect. Greetings. I'm glad you're here, the Space Papa. I love that. On vacation, your planet is too hostile, right? Totally get it. So it's the same thing. So understand, architecture is the highest suicide rate, it's the highest alcoholism rate, and it's the highest divorce rate. And so 48-year-old billionaire, and I swallow. Jeez, amazing. Like, so this is what I want to also say about entrepreneurs, right? Because it's not cut out for everybody. Because the reason I'm saying this is because, see, friends, when we start doing some things, we start finding out what it is that we are really committed to. And if you are really committed to the stories that you have created that have kept you at the level that you're at, then being an entrepreneur is probably not your jam, because the statistics are real. The statistics are real. Like, you cannot, now there's always exceptions, right? And I'm not big on statistics if they impact people's flexibility and being able to stand in their greatest version of who they are, right? But the statistics are real. 9 out of 10 businesses will fail in the first 5 years of being in business, right? There's a reason that happens. And then out of the 1% or the 10% that make it, 85% of those are going to be out of business in the next 5 years, right? Why is all that? Because people don't want to do the inner work. That's all it is, right? It's all it is. Like, I'm running this mastermind group, right? And by the way, if you haven't signed up for the ROI Accelerator Challenge, I mean, I'm not going to beg, but I can only do what I can do. I can only lead you to the place and have you sign up for this, because what's happening in people's lives as a result of going through this thing is absolutely extraordinary. Like, extraordinary. Like, one of the people on there that are part of it had one conversation with this gal, and within about 3 hours of having that one conversation with her, she went out and created $6,000. That's like out of thin air, right? Like, these are the things that are happening inside of this group. And what's important is that it's fascinating. It's fascinating how, like, you can take anybody and lead them right to the water, but what's going to happen is their ego is going to show up. It's going to convince them to play at the level that they're playing at, right? For some, like my good old boy Myron says all the time, for some people, a known hell is better than an unknown heaven. See, familiarity, look at the word familiarity. Family, liar. Family, liar. What do you think there being no logical explanation for the existence of the universe? I think that's awesome, because it makes it mystery. It makes us think and ponder why we are here. So that's in your ego left you create. That's why we are here tonight, is because a lot of people get into being an entrepreneur because they think it's a way to generate money, which without a doubt it is, right? But what is it that is making you want to go down this path? Because it is going to turn you inside out. Now, that's a great thing, right? Like, you can be the catalyst in going into making a decision and understand that this is going to be difficult. And the reason it's going to be difficult is because it's literally going to turn you inside out. Now, turning you inside out is the metamorphic process that is amazing, and what you get to be on the other side of it. See, it's not about becoming an entrepreneur. It's the person that you become in seeking out what it is that you want to share with this world, right? And there's a number of things that I see that are consistent with all entrepreneurs that I've worked with. Not just entrepreneurs, but influencers, creators, like different things like that. There are commonalities within all of these that prevent them from stepping into their greatness, right? And obviously that's why they end up working with me and being able to do what they do. Like, I've taken many people that weren't even making 5 figures a month and showing them how to, and having them step into making multiple 6 figures a month, right? No, dude, I'm not gonna. Let me block this dude. See you, dude. Boom. So it's important to be able to understand, why do you want to become an entrepreneur? What does being an entrepreneur mean to you? What does being an entrepreneur mean to you? What is it? What's important to you about doing it? So an entrepreneur, to me, this is what an entrepreneur is. They are a professional problem solver, right? And what happens with a lot of people, again, this is why entrepreneurs, like 9 out of 10 businesses, fail, is because they were very good at selling a widget for somebody else, and they didn't know what they didn't know until they got out there and they took the risk and they went out and started creating their own business. And then they got to see all the things that they weren't aware of. But see, the thing that came up for them is the thing that they weren't aware of within themselves, right? And so, yes, and creating freedom is a great reason why a lot of people go into being an entrepreneur. But see, the thing that's important about that is when they start running into challenges, you start recognizing what you've been committed to. Now, what I'm about to tell you can be the thing that liberates everything from this point forward. Friends, understand, like, people that have signed up for the ROI Accelerator Challenge, the link's in my bio if you're on TikTok, and I got the banner going down here if you're in the Potential Zone group. There are certain things that I share with people that is so liberating that they're able to let go of the things in their past and be able to step into their greatness, right? And the reason I say this is because we come up with programs. We have created programs as a child, and some people, me, had to create programs that literally were survival, right? Like, I had to survive in the environment that I was raised in, right? But then what happens when we step into becoming an adult and all the things that go with being an adult, we run the programs that we developed as a child. Okay? So in the ROI Accelerator Challenge, I literally show you how to change your past, right? Like, you can literally change your past. Now, somebody said here, sick office view. I think you're talking about mine. This is just a curtain. I think you're talking about mine. But see, the first thing that we got to look at, and actually, I'm glad you said that, because I want you to think about something. The first place to start looking at in what you want in life is to start looking at what you don't want. Like, that's a good place to start, right? Start looking at what is it that you don't want in your life. What some of the things, like, I've been an entrepreneur literally, I think, since I was 8 years old, right? Like, I had a little bicycle business and I was working on bikes and selling bikes and things like that, right? 100%, I wasn't ready to hear some of this until the time was right. Right. And somebody gosh, I wish I knew who this was, because I just see you as Facebook user. If you could tell me what your name is, that'd be awesome, because I want to recognize you and acknowledge your comment. Because what determines when somebody is ready? What determines when something is ready? See, that's what I think. April, my bad. I wish I could see that, right? Is understanding that, see, what determines how fast we move through something is our resistance to it, right? And sometimes that resistance is not even conscious. And part of that resistance can be our ability to comprehend something, right? Like, I've sat in classes with other people and amazing trainings, right? And years later, we're having a conversation and we're talking about something, like applying something that we learned in this training. And I just look at them and go, did we go to the same training? Because they went in this extensive detail in what we're talking about here. And it's like, this person didn't even go to it. Right. And as I've learned some things, what ends up happening is, so this person wasn't at the level of comprehension with that particular thing that was shared at that event. right? And so the other part that determines this is our assimilation, because see, our ego friend does not want to be wrong. Yeah, that ends up showing lots of interesting things, and we get to experience lots of different amazing things out of that in itself, right? So I'll share a story with you. So when I went to college, well, let me back up. Okay. I don't say this very often. In fact, the only place you'll ever probably hear me say this otherwise is when I'm doing a presentation or doing a webinar or something like that. But I will share with somebody, I will actually tell them, I don't know if you know this or not, but I graduated sixth in my class. Like I graduated sixth in my, actually it was seventh. I graduated seventh in my class. I graduated seventh in my class. But see, here's the thing. There were only 7 in my class. Like I had to beg, I had to beg to let them to have me graduate, right? To let me graduate. But then I got into college and there were some things that I discovered about myself. And one of them is I was pretty decent at math. And I took pre college algebra, and there were actually tests that I aced, right? Like I aced a number of tests that, like about 50% of the tests that I took, and I ended up acing them, right? So I was like, all right, cool, got this back, I can do it. Well, then guess what happened? I get into a different college, and college algebra was one of the generals that I had to take. But see, I had just had my heart shattered. I had just gotten in a relationship, and this particular relationship is what was the catalyst to get me to really step into changing my life. Right? Obviously, the car wreck was a big part of it. By the way, if you want to get the copy of my book, what I taught all about my car wreck is I love 5,000 likes. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. But anyway, I digress. So here I am. I'm in college algebra, and I just had my heart shattered, and I got an F. I got an F in college algebra. Now, that made no sense to me. That made no sense to me. I was acing tests in pre-college algebra. Here I'm in college algebra, and I could not pass that class. I could not pass it. So I ended up dropping out of it. Took me three times to go through that before I was able to grasp a C in college algebra. Now, what happened? What happened? I had a catastrophic breakdown in my life, and I was emotionally all over the place. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because, see, contextually, we get exposed to things, but where we are at in the context of our lives when we are being introduced into something has a massive impact, on what it is that we receive, right? And this is why a lot of people who want to be an entrepreneur. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, or if you are an entrepreneur and you want to 10x it, like I show people how to do, you definitely want to be in the ROIacceleratorchallenge.com. The link's in my bio, and I can show you how to take your greatest asset and show you how to 10x it, 1000x it, right? Like, yeah, like it is on a whole other level. Now, don't believe me? Go look at the testimonies and see. The thing that separates me from everybody else out there is the results my clients get, right? And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is because there's some strategies. If you want to be an entrepreneur or you are an entrepreneur, then the most important thing for you to understand is you knowing how to navigate your inner world. If you do not have strategies to navigate your inner world, you are going to go into unresourceful states. It is not that we are unresourceful. It is that we get into unresourceful states that make us believe that we are unresourceful. Right? So I'm going to literally show you success strategies so that you can get yourself into higher states, because when you're in an unresourceful state, this is never going to work. What are all my friends going to say? See, this is where I say doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Doubt, hear me when I say this, my friend, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Why? Because doubt is associated and best friends with shame. And see, when we start expanding, what's going to keep us from stepping into our greatness at a whole other level, are all the programs that we have created as a child. 75% of what we access in our entire life was by the age of 5. Now think about this. How much of your 5 years old, right? And I'll bet you could even shrink it down even further. How much of that did you not even know how to communicate? You didn't even know what words were. So what does that mean? That means that you used intuition. You used vibration. You used emotion to determine how safe this world is. Okay? And this is going to have a massive impact when you go out to create whatever it is that you want to create, right? If you had an environment that was supportive. Now, when I say supportive, I mean having a balanced environment that supports you. Because, so think about a child. Now, I've had some kickback on TikTok about this, and I get it. I love it. People sharing their opinions, right? As long as they're open to having a respectful, mature conversation, right? If you're just going to be insulting and say whatever you're going to say, you're going to get blocked. I don't have time for people that are not going to be respectful in having a dialogue with somebody, right? So if a child is running and it trips and it face plants, right? Like bam, splat, and they get up and you go run to that child, there is a very, very, very important moment. That child is going to turn around and is going to look at you and see how you respond to what they did. And that is what they're going to mirror. Okay. Now, obviously, if you walk up and like, hey, dude, just get up and like whatever, right? Like a child needs to be able to feel their emotions without a doubt. This isn't about suppressing their emotions, but it's also teaching them how to not let pain hold them back, right? It's about teaching them how to move through pain, right? So it's the same thing with being an entrepreneur, because when you're an entrepreneur, you're out on the island, and sometimes it feels like you're not supported. Sometimes it feels like nope. There, if you feel very alone, many, many, many times. Who can relate to what I'm saying about when you start stepping out and making something happen? Anytime you step out into expanding who you are, you're going to start finding out how important your friendships really are, because if you are, think about this. This is some of the stuff that I used to teach people when they were network marketing. Because there's a reason why 97%, I think it's 97% of people that get in network marketing never make big money. 97%. There's a reason. There's a reason. Is because of the system that the network marketing companies teach you how to be successful. What do they tell you to do? Go out and talk to your 5 best friends. Okay? Okay, now there is that occasional person that can have that happen and they all get it. But see, here's what's really, really interesting. Okay. When you go to talk to your best friends about this business opportunity, understand that you are wanting to enroll them into a different narrative than what they've already sold themselves. Let me repeat what I just said. You are going to enroll them into a different narrative than they've already sold themselves. Right. And it's like going and asking financial advice from 5 broke people. They see all this stuff is going to come up that they're going to have to face that's going to make them feel very uncomfortable. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to talk you out of your dream. And because your friendships, your relationships are more important to you, not being rejected by your tribe is more important to you than you being committed to your dream and making it a reality. Like what I just shared there, friends, is really, really, really important, right? Because our greatest fear is being separated from our tribe. And go look at medieval times. Like they didn't execute people, they exiled them. Like I think Copernicus was exiled for death. Death would have been less painful than exiling you. Like they just kicked you out of the community and said, go be on your own. This is a primal fear within us. Right. And this is what happens when again, it's our inner world. Right. Yeah, for sure. Someone said it seems that I've got more support from strangers online than in the business realm. Oh, that is so accurate. Right. Like this is one of the reasons I love TikTok, because TikTok, like they're a lot more real. Every once in a while you get somebody that comes up and says something crazy just because that's where they're at. They need to do something about it. So we're talking about why you should be an entrepreneur. That's what we're talking about. And so really understanding that I think everybody should be an entrepreneur. I think let me back that up. That guy that just said that, just exiting. Let me get clear here, right here. I think everybody should learn how to play golf. I think everybody should learn how to play golf. Why? Because you look at it and watch people and it's just like, wow, that's amazing. That's not how it goes. Like, hey, Mary, it's good to see you. Like, you go out and like learning to hit a ball with a stick, with a club, and you hit it 500 yards, 500 yards. That is 5 football fields long. Let me just be clear. 500 yards is 5 football fields long. And you're hitting it into a cup that big, and you're going to do it in 5 shots. Okay. But see, the reason now I don't call what I play golf, right? I call hitting balls, right? Like I've got a long ways to go, but why this is important is you're going to get introduced to parts of yourself that you wouldn't otherwise, right? Like getting familiar in the uncomfortable is where you get to thrive as an entrepreneur, right? Is getting familiar with the uncomfortable, because anytime you grow, it's going to be uncomfortable. Okay. And this is what keeps, see what happens when we get into uncomfortable, we are literally firing primal parts of our brain, right? And what we want to do is our body takes over and we shut it down. This is why going to a grocery store hungry is not a good strategy, because you make very inappropriate choices because your body's screaming, I don't want to be here anymore. Okay. So if you are serious about being an entrepreneur, first of all, then you can think I'm selling you something, or, well, actually, let's talk about that for a minute. To sell, this is where the word sell came from. It's a Latin word that means to serve. So if you think I'm selling you something, okay, I'm here to serve you. And I want to do everything I can to support what it is that you want to create. And what I have created, I've created many, many, many programs. I have coached many, 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 many people. Okay. And so my job, this is my purpose in life, to use my passion and creativity to empower others to live in their fullest potential. I've got a whole course called the Potential Code. This is my encyclopedia of stepping into your fullest potential. It is a big, big, big program. Okay. So I've created lots of things for people. My ROI Accelerator Challenge, which is my link in my TikTok, is by far the best product, the best thing I've ever created, right? And watching what people are creating in this thing is absolutely amazing, because it is you literally figuring out what it is that steps into your greatness. Okay, so going back to being able to serve. When selling literally is the greatest honor in the world. Selling is literally the greatest honor in the world. You could take out all the leaders, you can take out all the governments, and this planet will operate for a month probably before it went into absolute chaos, right? You could take out all of that, take out all the religion, you could take all these things out, and the world would still operate for a fairly, a month, whatever. You take out cells, and this world crashes in a day. It crashes in a day, right? But see, what keeps us from honoring this and stepping into this is that we don't value who we are. Okay. Thank you, Goofy Girl. Thank you so much. Yes. And it's amazing what's happening with people that are going through this, right? So we had one gal that was going through it and literally took one thing. Well, she'd taken many things away, but the one thing that like unleashed for her. What if you looked at your life from this point forward and never looked at anything that had happened in the past as being wrong, or that what you did was wrong, right? What's important about understanding about that is, see, we have to go through a lesson in order for us to have the cognitive ability to assess if something was effective or not. We have to go through the lesson in order for us to have the consciousness to recognize whether that was an effective strategy or not. But see, isn't it interesting when we have that ability and we've moved through the threshold and we're on the other side of it, and we learn a lesson, we sit there and we judge what we just went through because it didn't give us, see, we learn, well, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And there's lots of people out there that are practicing very ineffective strategies. Right? That's when it becomes automatic. That's when it becomes a part of our nervous system. And like they say, by the time we're 35 years old, 95% of our life is automatic. This is all the stuff we've practiced over and over and over and over and over. right? These have become unconscious habits within ourselves. These have become unconscious addictions that we have within ourselves, right? People think of addiction. It's a heroin addict. It's the alcoholic. It's all. We are all addicted, my friends. We're all addicted. We are all addicted. We're addicted to thought patterns. We're addicted to the chemical releases that we get within ourselves. We get addicted to how we put on our pants, right? So it's understanding that practice makes permanent. So we've got to start looking at, is what I'm doing in alignment with what I want to create? And I'm not here to beat up on anybody, right? I'm here I'm here because I have gone through crazy. Like, I have very intimate relationships with trauma, with destroying my life on many, many, many levels, right? And I'm not saying that to impress anybody. I'm saying that to say that I've learned some strategies so that you can let go of what keeps you playing small so that you can step into your greatness. Because see, your limitations, which is your ego, part of your ego, your lower self, your limitations don't want to go away. They don't want to go away. And until you understand that voice, they are going to be what runs your life. And so I have the question for you, my friend. Who is really running your life? Absolutely, money's an addiction. Absolutely. It can be, for sure. Right? For me, it's not about the money, right? Well, I mean, for sure, it could be addicted to a program that you don't want to face. Like I have a friend of mine that was dating a guy. This guy was worth $100 million. Created $100 million completely out of lack mentality. $100 million completely out of lack mentality. Nothing was ever good enough, right? So to me, money is energy. Like it's the more. So think of a radio station, right? Like the more it takes more power to create a bigger audience. The same thing with money is that the more you expand and let go of the things that hold you back. Now, there are people out there that are crazy amount of monies, but what's the quality of life? Like, I find it interesting, Elon Musk, like this guy's downsizing everything because I see that I think that he has issues with all the abundance that he has. This is my take on it. Yes, once you let go, you are freed from the shame and guilt. Yeah. And so looking at the things and see, I've listened to the book Think and Grow Rich probably 300 times, right? Without a doubt. So anybody that signs up for the ROI Accelerator Challenge, links in my bio. If you sign up for the VIP, I actually have a course of Laws of Success, which I teach you my take on Laws of Success. Napoleon Hill interviewed over 16,000 people. And the thing that astonished him more than anything else is people's inability to get honest about their inadequacies. See, it's how we hold our inadequacies that impact our ability to transcend. See, and this is so important, friend. This is so important. If we're going to grow, parts of us have to die. If we are going to grow, parts of us have to die. But see, if we're going to get intentional about this, then we've got to look at what is out of alignment with what it is that I want to create. Does that make sense? Right? Or could it be is it who is running your life, or is what it can be both? Absolutely. Right? Greed is not about transcending. Well, it could support somebody else in their transcending process for sure. Right? See, here's a model that I encourage everybody to take on. And I don't encourage you to believe it, right? But I encourage you to look at it within yourself, right? And that is all. When I say all, that is an absolutistic word that means all. Every single one. All behavior has a positive intention. Now, I would get you to look at that within yourself and understand that there are things that you have done that probably has caused somebody pain, right? And if you look at it and not get caught up in what it created, and you look at what was your intention when you did it, it had a positive impact. It had a positive intention for you. Okay. Um, you don't get rewarded for your kindness because the majority of people don't see kindness, the sick money. That's okay. Our behavior has a positive intention when you get this information. Well, yes, every behavior has a positive intention, right? Like that's NLP, right? Or what Tony, the reason NLP has the exposure it does is because of Tony Robbins, right? He actually got sued by Bandler and Grinder, right? Because and that's why he called it NAC, right? I've been studying Tony for a long time. Mr. Miles is in the house. This old boy's going to release a book, and I'm excited to hear about it. So going back to what I was saying in your ability to transcend what is holding you back. But negative and positive is subjective, right? Negative and positive is subjective. That has to do with the person again, I encourage you to look at things as not right or wrong, right? Behavior is adaptation. Behavior is what is the output from the internal program, right? What does wealth mean to you? Right? Like, what does wealth mean to you? Right? And I get it. We're using a platform that words are only 7% of communication, right? So there's a lot more, right? And that's the other part of it. Words are not the item or the experience they represent, right? It's our past experiences, influences. At times, for sure, it certainly does impact it, right? So what I want to offer to everybody is not to judge or to characterize the programs that have gotten you where you're at, right? Because if you do, like, your subconscious wants to serve you. It wants to serve you, and it's going to serve you the way it believes you want to be served. This is why it's important for you to get super clear on how you want it to serve you, right? But saying that's like someone coming to you and say, hey, man, I made this big old freaking chocolate cake for you, and I'm doing this because I love you and I want to bless you and I want to give you something enjoying. Here's a big old chocolate cake. And you look at it and going, why in the heck did you just make this for me? I cannot stand chocolate cake. How dare you make a chocolate cake for me? It's the same thing that's happening when you're judging the programs that your subconscious came up with to get you to where you're at right now. Stop judging the programs. They have been serving you to get you where you're at. It's about learning how to let go and to not what to think, how to think, right? Like, what parts of those programs have got you where you're at, and how can you use that to get to the next level? Well, it depends what program you're talking about, right? So is what people need to avoid from others that are greedy. Well, you got something about greedy, don't you? Greed is a perception, right? Like, I've got many millionaire friends, right? And there are all kinds of people that can see them being greedy. There's all kinds of people that also recognize their greatness, right? It's all about, we see what confirms with our bias, right? Are there greedy people in the world? Without a doubt, right? But where do you think it happens more? With people that have a lot of money or people that don't? I would just let that sit in for a little bit, right? Where is most of the trauma in life come from? Wealthy or from people that live in poverty? I'd just get you to think about that. Okay. Maybe they're becoming wealthy faster because it's a pyramid scheme. The whole United States is a pyramid scheme, right? Nina, it is always great to see you. Thank you for being here. Right. But see, it's understanding is what we perceive is an agreement to our inner programming. What we perceive is an inner agreement to our inner programming. No, they're not all going to be wealthy. It depends on what you think about wealthy as well. I think everybody that goes to a Tony Robbins seminar is going to get a seed planted in them that if they decide to feed that seed, then they could step into new possibilities that they weren't able to before going to a Tony Robbins event. Or they may let all the weeds of their environment choke that seed out, and it might take decades before it stands in, right? I think Tony Robbins' intention is to put out there that every single person that goes to his event is going to have a transformation that's going to unlock new possibilities in their life. I have no control over what I'm saying and how it's going to land for anybody. I have no control over that. My responsibility is to do everything I can to communicate things in a way that support people and having it land the way that gets them to look at things from a different perspective. I think a lot of wealthy people have a lot of trauma. It's an interesting perspective, right? What is wealthy to you? Like, that's the first question I ask. To me, wealth has nothing to do with money. Wealth has nothing to do with money for me. It's a part of it, without a doubt, right? For me, wealthy is understanding that I have endless choice. For me, wealthy is understanding I am responsible for every single decision that I make. For me, wealthy is understanding that I am way more resourceful than the states that I allow myself to get into to create what it is that I want to create. That's what wealthy means to me, right? And see, prosperity is the output of abundance, right? Like, that's the output. It's a pyramid scheme. They're into their sun hot seat tickets, and they're trying to advertise towards. I don't know what you're talking about, Galactic Master. What's a pyramid scheme? So yes, I believe everybody's got lots of trauma. Absolutely. Right. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that hide behind money, without a doubt. Right. But see, it's how we characterize these things that impact our ability to move to attract it in our lives. Why would we attract something into our lives that we have characterized as being greedy, unpleasant, whatever, right? It's not about a program. It's about getting rich from the program that they create. That's fake. Again, Galactic Master, I'm not sure what you are referring to. Again, so there's a story, and you've all heard it, but it's very poignant to what we're talking about right now. There's this couple that's driving down this road, and they're actually moving. They got their big old U-Haul truck, and they're moving into this town. And as they're driving into this town, there's this old guy that's sitting out on the town, right in the middle of the street, and he's like welcoming everybody. And they're like, "Hey, wow, cool. This guy's interesting. He can support us." And roll down the window. And he's like, "Hey, how are you?" And he's like, "I'm doing good. How are you doing?" He's like, "Well, we're just moving in town, and we're just curious, what kind of town is this?" And he says, "That's a great question. Tell me about the town that you came from." "Well, the people were really mean, and they were really cold, and they were really greedy, and they were not supportive, and everybody was out for themselves." And he goes, "Well, yeah, that's about what you'll get here too as well." Right? Right behind them was another U-Haul. Okay. This next U-Haul pulled up and saw the same guy there, and he goes, "Hey, how are you doing?" He's like, "We're doing great. You know what? We're just moving into this town, and you seem like somebody that's been here a long time. What kind of town is this?" And he goes, "Well, tell me about the town that you came from before." And he's like, "Well, we had amazing people. Like, these people supported us. Everybody took care of everybody else. People were nice, always helping one another." And he goes, "Well, that's exactly what these kind of people are here as well. Your perception is a reflection of you. Okay. You're going to find what you want to look for." Right. And I get it. Like, I grew up very, very, very poor. I grew up in the ghetto. And I've had to transcend lots and lots and lots of programs that I listened my parents talk about. Right? Like, I sat there and listened to my parents talk about their bosses and wealthy people and successful people and anybody that had anything. I sat there and listened to what my parents would talk about them. Right? It's all about selling the get wealthier programs or a bunch of BS. All right, buddy. Galactic Master, have a good day. I'm not going to take that. See ya. So it's about understanding that everything you see is a confirmation within yourself. That's all it is, right? So I'm asking you is, how is those beliefs supporting you? Like, how much is your life spent protecting yourself from being hurt? Like, that was a question. When I got that, it radically changed my life. Radically changed my life when I recognized how much effort I put into protecting myself from being hurt. So what's the antidote for that? The antidote for that is learning how to love into the pain. because the pain, the suffering, all comes from our narrative of the experience. Look at the word authority. We are the authority of our lives now. We're not little children anymore. It is our ability to change the programs that we have been conditioned to believe, and we get to be the author of our lives, right? This your own quote? No, I'll take it. I'll take it, Whitney. Yes, our life, we live in a hologram, right? Like everything you see is a reflection of who you are, right? These perceive, and they are also projectors. Do what your heart calls. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everybody, I appreciate all of you being here. If you haven't signed up for ROI Accelerator Challenge, I recommend that you do that. Recommend it. It is my baby. It is, lots of amazing things are happening. It's a great community. It's just fun watching people letting go of the things that they want to let go of, and let them step into their greatness and recognizing the value that they really get to bring to this world. I'll leave you with this thought. There are things in your life that you have been conditioned to believe. There are beliefs that you've been assigned that are literally holding you back from supporting people out there that need what you have. There are people out there that are literally grasping to know the answer that only you can deliver to them. But your doubts and your assigned beliefs that you got is what prevents you from stepping in that. So if you really want to let that go, then I encourage you to go to the ROI Accelerator Challenge. Go to the link in my bio, because friends, understand, I shouldn't be here. Like, my greatest failure was me almost killing myself and my sister when I was 19 years old. That was my greatest failure in my life. That was my plan in life. I didn't want to live to be 25 years of age. God had different plans for me. Okay? Get your doubts out of the way and step into your greatness, because there are people out there that are waiting for you to shine, right? And stop, like, think of yourself as a lighthouse. You are a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't go out there and get caught up into the chaotic energy of a boat that is trapped in the waves. A lighthouse just shines there and be its beacon. It lets the ships receive that light however it receives it, right? But we get caught up in chaotic energy, and we want people to save people that aren't not ready to learn yet, right? Just like this guy that was on here saying, I'm an entrepreneur, and everything he was saying is just like, good Lord. Like, dude, like, it's obvious. Like, okay, what kind of entrepreneur if you, or all you want to do is dog somebody else? You get back what you put out there, right? So block. I don't want your energy around me. And I bless him. Like, be blessed, dude. I wish you the best. I wish you the best. I don't need to get caught up in that energy. Okay? So much love. Appreciate each and every one of you. And it's been a great weekend. Hope you've had a great weekend. And may this next week be the most extraordinary, amazing, bliss-filled week that you've ever had. And may you have encounters that show God's fingerprints, universe, whatever that means to you, working in your life. And may you transcend the things that keep you believing that you are small. You are an amazing human being. You're not a human doing. You're a human being. Step into your greatness. And if there's anything I can do to support your journey, please let me know that by commenting on my videos. Like, I make myself pretty available for people that are serious about stepping into their greatness. It's what I'm all about. It's my mission in life. So much love, Nina. It is always like, if you're not following Nina, like, she is like right up there. Like, I see her and it's just like, she's an angel. She's just got a beautiful, beautiful spirit. And I just love the content that she puts out there. There's a lot of amazing people in, like Helen, like there's lots, Tish, there's Goofy Girl, like there's lots of amazing people. Lori, April, like there's amazing people that are doing amazing things in this world. And I love being a part of that. That's what life's all about. That's being, that's giving life to this world. And so I appreciate all of you being here. Much love, my friends. And as always, live like your life depends on it, because it does. Much love. Have a great night.